Hello and welcome to something we haven't done in quite a while, a guest portion of DC Figures and Collectibles. And we are happy to have joining us for the first time in a while, but we have had him on once before. And if you're not following him, you should check him out on Instagram. We have at Toys of Arkham. It's exactly as it's spelled, no special Z or any double R or anything like that. And he is a specialist in hot toys, 1/6 scale. But he does dabble in 7-inch and 6-inch from time to time. And we have to probably cite him as an influence in Scott going over to the hot toy side, at least a little bit with his great photos.
Yeah, that's a 20-minute segment of this podcast right now.
So we're happy to have him back. And first of all, right off the bat, so we could just get it up front, we want to know how are things in Ireland with how everything is going and what's your current situation? Are you safe? Are you quarantined? What's going on?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. It's pretty surreal over here. I'm sure it's the same where you guys are. It's after really taking us by surprise, obviously, in the last 3-4 weeks, things have radically changed around here. And just last week, we went on more or less full lockdown here. So as it stands, we're all in our own homes, just rarely going outside the door just for essentials such as, food and maybe the odd walk here and there just to stretch the legs. But yeah, it's a new way of life, but it's tough enough. I've got 2 young children, so I have a 7-month-old and a 3.5-year-old. So it's it's tough on, especially the 3.5-year-old's pretty tough on him. Just he went from a Montessori, like a little, play school, to just being entertained by dad. So, well, and mom as well. But he seems to turn to me to play with him quite a lot. But yeah, that's how things are here. How are you guys getting on?
Scott,
yeah, pretty similar to you. I think we went in lockdown the same time as you in England. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Everybody's at home and family all wanting to kill each other, spending too much time together.
Yeah.
I think that has been the one good thing come out of it, hasn't it? Really, that you can spend more time at home with family and see people that you probably rarely get to see. To be fair, other than a couple of hours a day, just say hello and goodbye to it at night and go to bed and get up ready for work the next day. But yeah, it's kind of weird, but you just got to try and put a positive spin on it. You get to see more family, and then you can do some toy photography.
That's true. Thank God for the hobby. Yeah,
literally.
How are you, Tyler?
Yeah.
It's a little strange here, and my sister works in the medical field, so she still has to go to work. So every day, kind of stressful thinking about that. But it's like LA's cases are going rapidly. USA surpassed Italy, and so things have gotten. It's about to go where you can't go outside unless you're wearing a mask now. And yeah, I mean, thank goodness for technology. Not only the fact that we get to do this sort of thing and take our brains off of it and get to talk to some friends, but also in the fact that we're able to do online ordering and that sort of thing. Like I had a doctor's appointment because of my back. I needed to get nerve medication or else I just have shooting pain down my leg. And yesterday I was able to just do this online, do the doctor appointment. And not only that, but she was actually enthralled with my collection. I basically got to do a podcast and just show everything on my collection.
Yeah.
That's pretty
cool.
So
even though you know what you need, Tyler, and I think this would really suit you now, considering your hobbies and interests. You need an actual Bane mask.
Yes.
Because it would obviously protect you from the coronavirus, and then it would feed in the pain medication that Bane used as well. So,
well, thankfully, I'm not on any pain meds. It's the nerve medication isn't anything that crazy, but
all right, okay.
I wouldn't mind taking that. That would because if I don't have the nerve med, my left leg's just all over the place. But now that we got all that out of the way, let's dive right into some questions. Scott, do you want to go first or me?
Yeah, so the first thing I wanted to ask you about, the main interesting thing for me that's changed in your account over the last time we spoke to you is you got an absolutely phenomenal diorama.
Yes.
Since the last time we spoke. So who made it? And also, how freaking huge is that thing?
Yeah. Well, after naturally, I listened to the conversation that I had with you guys last time, and I was kind of, I just made a decision really that to go a little bit further with the whole hobby and maybe take it a step further and get a bit more serious about it. So I started to, if you actually went back to my timeline, almost immediately after I had the chat with you guys, I started to actually try and learn Photoshop and try and experiment with those sort of backgrounds and digital kind of enhancement and effects. And it wasn't really, it worked on some pictures, but it wasn't working with others, and it took a
You
lot
were
of
getting
time.
really good at that, though. To be
Well,
fair,
I got the idea of how to do it, but then to get it absolutely perfect, um, you've got to obviously get the lighting on the figure that you want to cut and paste into the background perfect to match the background. It takes a lot more than I initially thought. And but then I follow a YouTuber. I'm a Patreon of his channel. Dean Knight. He's based in the UK, and he's basically the number one YouTuber for 1/6 collectibles, certainly in my eyes anyway. And he has a buddy of his called Glenn from Cult Creations. Cult Creations is his Instagram handle. And Glenn, who I've befriended since being kind of introduced to him via Dean, he makes dioramas. So he made one for Dean Knight, this YouTuber, who had then reviewed it. And I saw it and I just said, Jesus, that would be absolutely amazing in my collection, because it would suit so many figures from obviously Batman, but also like RoboCop, Terminator, all the kind of dark characters that I
Predator.
would be into anyway. And it just was a kind of
Oh,
a
what a
universal.
shot!
Yeah. So
For those of
when
you
I
that are
spoke to
listening, we're looking at a beautiful shot of all his Hot Toy Batman collection on the humongous diorama we're talking about.
So when I spoke to you guys last, I was saying, God, wouldn't it be great if someone just did prints of backdrops that you could just put your figures in front of, and it would really help with photography. And but then I ordered this from Glenn and at Cult Creations, and he's based in the UK, so he was able to send it to Ireland fairly promptly. And I was just blown away with it. It's just amazing. The detail on it, I don't know. Not all shots kind of pick up on it because I'm more or less focused on the figures. But if I was actually to zoom in with a camera on the base of it or on the walls, I mean, it really is very much very detailed. Like there's even moss around the gutter exit. It's crazy, and the ground looks wet. It just looks amazing. But
the window alone looks crazy with the grade and the spiked rails and all that. That's incredible.
Yeah, you can see the detail there as well on the floor.
And what a figure!
Yeah, it's kind of you could kind of make it like in your imagination. I suppose you could think of it as Crime Alley, or you could think of it as an entrance to a jail or Arkham Asylum, or I kind of try and think of different ways to look at it. But yeah, it's universal. Like if I pop a RoboCop figure in there, or as I said, Terminator, or any of the kind of darker characters, they really do suit it.
Oh yeah, I think it's a one that you can't get tired of, and plus you could do all the different angles. And that one shot really was great at showing how humongous it was that Scott had up on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. And that's
it's probably about 2.5 feet, maybe in width.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, big.
And this is one of my favourite pictures that you do with the water as well. So obviously we've got to ask, what is that like, flooding the diorama with water?
Oh, are you talking about the Aquaman picture?
Yes.
Yeah, that got a great response. That was
is that Photoshop?
Yeah, it was actually an app.
The app. Okay.
I certainly didn't actually flood the diorama. That's for sure.
It looks like you did. So it looks fantastic.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. It's on one of these special effects apps. So if you really want to know, I'll get the name of it now, and I'll PM either of you, whoever wants to know about it. But it's a very it's a very easy application to a photo, and it just looks incredibly well. And once I saw that effect in one of the apps that I have, I said, Jesus, when that Aquaman figure arrives, that's going to look great with him. So, yeah.
It definitely does.
I mean, he's one of the best looking Hot Toys. Are you going to get the new Aquaman as well?
Yeah, originally I didn't really plan on getting the two, but I actually went to see Aquaman, the solo movie, with my father, and we went to see it in 4DX, and it, this kind of I don't know if I'm sure you guys do know about this, that when you go to cinema and the seat moves and water sprays in your face and all this.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
What'd you think of that?
It's good fun for a movie like that. It was great, and I'd never gone to the cinema to see a movie by that experience before. So it was a great movie to see with my dad, and it was almost like being on a roller coaster for a couple of hours. So I said, they kind of had a sentimental feeling about the whole day, and haven't seen the movie in that kind of way with him. So I said, I'm going to have that figure just to remember that for, that day for. So I have ordered him. I haven't got him yet though.
He does look amazing. That Aquaman figure does, gotta say. The Justice League one looks good, but just that bold costume that they went for and made it look cool as well. It was infamously goofy and really sort of camp from original sort of comic books, but they made it look so cool in that movie. And Jason Momoa's got a massive amount to do with that. But talking about the effects, this picture is one of my particular favourites that you've done recently. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah,
you can see it. Yeah, the Deathstroke.
The Deathstroke. Yeah, with the snow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, eventually I'll probably go weak and buy him because he just looks so cool. That Deathstroke.
Way cool.
Yeah. I hadn't actually, just before we go on to Deathstroke, the thing about that Aquaman figure, the new one though, it looks a bit stiffer around the torso, whereas the Justice League one has more articulation. I think. But that Deathstroke figure has an incredible shelf presence. Anybody who comes into the room, their eyes are drawn to that figure because he kind of pops from the rest of my collection, which would be kind of darker, as I said. The
as you can see here.
Be...
Yeah, they look outstanding. I mean, I love the color contrast between those two figures. Absolutely outstanding, both of those.
Batman, Deathstroke, yeah.
But
the articulation is the weakness on.
Really?
No, well, not Deathstroke as much as the Batman. I'm sure Scott kind of experienced that with him. He's a bit stiff, and you'd be a bit afraid to pull off any extreme poses. But look, he's unreal. So he's an incredible piece.
Yeah, it's like the arms and stuff like that I could kind of deal with because they don't sacrifice the look of the figure for articulation, which I appreciate. But the legs you would have thought could move a little bit better, just so you could do like walking poses and stuff, because it is pretty difficult to do. But I mean, it just, like you say, it just looks so cool that you can't really have a go at it for it. And there's a couple of Arkham reveals that recently have been shown that I definitely want to pick your brains about later. But they both look absolutely amazing. Those two figures do. And just more on that Hot Toys Batman. I mean, what an outstanding figure. I said to Tyler, we'd definitely have to eulogise over that Batman at some point. It's inevitable. But, I mean, he is an absolutely outstanding figure, isn't he? Like, the accuracy is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually only played Batman Arkham Knight again recently, just in the last couple of weeks. I just managed to run through it again. And yeah, it was a brilliant game. And I just looked at that figure recently again and just said, Jesus, it really does look like it just leapt off the screen. It really has 100% accuracy to it. And the one thing about Hot Toys, they just do get the accuracy down almost to a fault. Like, I wouldn't mind if they had a bit more articulation and sacrificed a little bit of the accuracy, just to get a bit more movement. Some figures are a lot better than others, but it's a fantastic figure all around, really is.
Yeah, definitely.
No, what I'd like to ask about is, what the heck is this figure? Where'd you get it? Where can I find it? This werewolf figure. because it would fit in perfectly for a very specific episode for Batman animated series.
That is a incredibly hard figure to get. Incredibly hard figure to get. That is made by a company called Sota Toys, who have long since, well, I say long, I'd say maybe 6-7 years out of business. And it's from a movie called Dog Soldiers, which is a werewolf movie that would it's a British movie, and it would have been made around maybe 2001, 2002, and it's widely regarded as one of the best werewolf movies ever. Obviously, The Howling and American Werewolf in London are the most famous, but not far behind it in terms of entertainment as that movie. It's worth checking out. It will kind of remind you of Predator a bit, kind of a troop of soldiers going up to the woods, and all of a sudden they encounter these guys. It's great. I won't say much about it, but it's a great movie. But that figure has a little diorama, and it comes with a kind of a severed hand, and it has blood on the ground as well. And
that's what I was going to ask, if that came with it, or if you made that.
No, that came with it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I got it brand new actually, and I think there may be one or two available still on eBay. There's a seller in the States that
How expensive?
I think it was about $70. And
Oh, that's not bad.
Shipping and import. Yeah, no, it's not bad because you guys pay whatever for Mezco and all the other high end 12 or 1/12 scale that you guys would buy would be more expensive than that.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it overall? Because it looks like it does have some articulation, but might be limited in some others. What say you?
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of the movie, and that's
the
only movie they made. So, the only figure they made from the movie. So I had to get it. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I would recommend it.
Soda Toys.
Pardon?
Soda Toys.
Sota Toys, yeah, and Dog Soldiers. So if you look that up on eBay, you'll find it.
Then we can't not talk about this. You got yourself a costume. You're the protector in Ireland.
That yeah.
I mean, you said that you were entertaining your son. I mean, you have a beautiful collection, and you got a Batman costume. I don't see how your son could be bored.
Yeah, well, I actually put on my Instagram feed the Instagram story. That's probably gone at this stage, but it's me with my son all dressed up in the Batman suit. And there's actually a short film, or it's not a film, it's just a short clip of me walking out. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on that feed.
No, I remember seeing it on the story. I was hoping that there's some kind of video on. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. Yeah, this is awesome. The costume itself looks brilliant.
Yeah, that's made by
low motion.
That's what coronavirus.
Look at that profile.
It's accurate as well because you can't turn your head. I appreciate that kind of accuracy.
Yeah,
but it still has its own flair
makes
to
us
it.
Go mad.
Hey, we've all been a little mad.
The way you're going, you will have to wear a suit like that to go out soon, so that's quite appropriate.
Yeah, just to go to the store to get some TP, frighten people.
That was it's made by UD Replicas. They're based in Canada, I think, and it's actually a properly functional motorcycle suit. So that is actually
really.
It has carbon Kevlar in it, and it is. If you were actually trying to be Batman, that would be what you'd wear.
That's a good start.
It's incredible. But I bought the cape separately, and I bought the cowl from Fanatic FX there in California. So I got that shipped over, and so it's the Batman Begins Nomex suit. It's called. So it's the original prototype that led to the suit he wore in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just wanted something unique and different, but yet, truly Batman all the same. So my son thinks it's hilarious. He thinks it's brilliant.
Oh, if I was him, I'd probably be like, "Hey, Dad, let me get that when I get old enough."
Well, he will be. He will be.
I'd say you need to get a Robin suit for your son, but I know if it's a Batman Begins suit, like Christian Bale would be furious if you try to include a Robin. So maybe.
Yeah. My son is more. He seems to like Nightwing more, so
Oh, okay.
that would look better. Yeah.
Some good taste. And there is another new figure you got recently that we wanted to ask you about. It's this bad boy. Tell us about this if you're happy with this one, because there are a few versions, and we know some people were either upset or happy with what they got. So we'd love to hear you give us a summary of what you think about this bad boy.
All right. Well, that one there that's in the picture, it hasn't modifications on it at all. So that's the stock figure that you would get from Toys Era, which is a third-party company who doesn't have the official license to Joker products. In fact, hardly any companies, if any, have the license to make official merchandise, and certainly Hot Toys haven't made a figure yet. So, as a 1/6 collector, it was probably one of the better figures to come out on the market. There are about 3 or 4 companies who have put figures out of the Joker, and the first figure that came out was just of Arthur Fleck, and that was from a company called Top Toys, and it was again unlicensed, but it was the unpainted face, so it was just him in a kind of a hoodie. I have pictures of him there on the feed as well. And that particular figure that you just referred to with him, the bunch of flowers, that's a Toys Era figure, and it comes with 3 head sculpts.
Dang.
One expressionless, one with a kind of a smile on his face, which is in that picture, and then one with no makeup on of him as Arthur Fleck. Now, I'm very used to Hot Toys standards and quality, but I have dabbled in third-party figures a bit lately, and some of them are very good. Like I have a Venom from Toys Era that I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh, fittingly enough, I
I
just went to it.
All right, yeah, that's
the symbiote effect. That looks amazing.
Yeah, that's a great figure. So that was one of the more impressive. But just to finish on that Toys Era Joker, that it's like, how would I put it? It's good. It like, there's no doubt it does the job, but it's not nearly as good as the quality you'd see in the paint applications on Hot Toys.
In
my opinion,
it's one of them where, like, you know that it looks like a hot toy, but you know it's not a hot toy, sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you got some skill then, because if you look at this shot, whereas compared to some actual Hot Toys, it looks pretty comparable, at least with your skill and your photography life.
See the one there you had with him pointing the gun out.
Oh yes, yeah, I got it.
There's one there, and actually my more recent pictures of that red suit Joker hasn't got the Toys Era sculpt on it, so I bought another sculpt that is much more accurate, the painted face sculpt.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, there's one there, but there's probably a better one of up close.
Yeah. I can see it. There's this one by chance.
That one.
Oh, that's money.
Now that's a different company, so that's just on the Toys Era body, but that's a different sculpt by Top Toys, and that one, in my opinion, is brilliant. That's a great sculpt.
Yeah, it does look great. I love the hair script back look, like the Murray Franklin look on the Joker. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, and it's longer hair. You see, the sculpt on the Toys Era, his hair isn't long enough.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can. It's not a standing figure, isn't it? But I suppose you can see in places where there are minor imperfections, but they seem to have done a pretty good job. I did originally pre-order that figure, but I changed my mind when I got a custom head sculpt for it. But it does look a fantastic figure, I've got to say. Take some cracking pictures of it.
So this is cool. Here's that Arthur body, but with the Joker head sculpt. I really like that. You painted that? Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that on your post.
Yeah, that's the one I painted. That's the
That's pretty good.
Painted, yeah.
How did that go? What was that like? Were you scared trying out your first painting job?
Yeah, it was, but like the sculpt that I was using, it was kind of a disposable one because I had 2 unpainted Arthur Fleck sculpts, so I could paint one of them, and I just I saw a tutorial on YouTube, and I just went and got the paint and tried my hand at it, so it turned out all right. Like it's not great, obviously, but it's okay.
I'm sorry about this in advance, but we gotta show the gun show. Got a little gun show flex on there.
Oh yeah.
Just to let them know, Batman's been training. Training.
No one can see my face, so it's okay.
That Joker head, I'm just sorry to get back to it. Just looking at it now, it looks pretty good, to be fair. Because I mean, Joker's a good character to start on. Because if you mess up, like, it doesn't really matter. Because Joker, it's Joker. Like, through many scenes in the movie, his face paint is a mess many times through the movie. So what if you mess up? But no, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get the messed up look because that's what the bathroom scene kind of has, that's the way he kind of looks in it. But I probably won't do that again.
Really?
Yeah, probably not. Like I don't think I've any real need to do it, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, at least the one you did do turned out to look very nice.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't mind, we'd like to talk a little bit about that Venom one too. That thing's pretty sweet. That's a third party as well?
Yeah, that's not an official product, so that's made by.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Sorry for those listening on the podcast, but we have pictures of it.
Yeah, we got pictures. Head over to the YouTube page, DC Figures and Collectibles. But I mean, that looks fantastic.
It really does. And the thing about this is that I would not have known this unless I was following you, that this figure even existed.
Yeah, again, the 1/6 kind of collectors community on Instagram is very good for kind of introducing you to figures that you wouldn't know existed, because obviously people have these pictures posted and they'll link or tag the companies that make them, and there are a couple of websites that if you order directly from them from Asia, they're very good with their shipping. Well, they certainly were up until coronavirus hit. But the Toys Era make that, and it's a fantastic figure. As you can see, you got the Tom Hardy sculpt, which just without the Venom kind of taking over him look, so just his normal head, and then you've got him with a half Venom head, and then you've got this the Parasite or the Venom statue that comes with him too.
That thing's amazing.
Yeah, now not all the versions come with him. That's the kind of deluxe version that come with that statue, and so obviously I had which is great.
You could do Mad Max customs too with Tom Hardy.
Yeah. I've seen people do that actually, and it looks quite well. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I want to get your opinion on this because we know you're primarily, a 12-inch figure collector and photographer. But right here, you've got the McFarlane, the new DC Multiverse line from them, one of their first figures. And we'd love to hear what you think about one of their first figures, how they're doing so far, in your opinion.
Well, when I was younger, probably in my early 20s, I got into Spawn, and I really liked McFarlane figures, the toys that they were making. And when I heard McFarlane had the license to do DC Multiverse, I thought, Jesus, they'll do a great job of that. And I was watching the Toy Fair and the interviews that Todd McFarlane was doing, and it sounded like there was an exciting line coming down. Down the line, I suppose. He was basically saying that any figure or any character that looked like it would make a good toy, he didn't really care too much about the history or the background to it. He was just going to make the toy, and I think the line so far looks really good. It's there are a couple of figures I wouldn't be really interested in myself. But like that, I thought that Batman looked pretty cool. Although some people do criticize it because the head might be a bit on the small side. I don't look at it that way. I think it's a really nice figure. The Bat Raptor looks pretty cool, and I like the Demon Bat. Is that what it's called?
Hellbat. Yeah, he's outstanding.
Yeah, he's really good. Really like him. I like the scale and the kind of bulkiness to them. What do you guys think of it?
Personally, absolutely love them. To be honest, aside from the figures, I really like Todd McFarlane. Like his passion for the figures and for the line is incredible, and I think it's going to show as time goes on. Like I don't really get any. No one really saw any of that with Mattel. Like someone coming out and speaking about the line and getting really passionate about the figures and stuff. And I don't get that from Jim Fletcher either. I think he's a moron, and when you look at someone like Todd McFarlane, like you can tell he's really passionate about the line and he really cares about his figures
and he knows the characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what he's going to do with the line, and that kind of shows through the figures. I mean, like this figure we're looking at here, one of Tyler's pictures of Elbat, just an outstanding figure, and that's it. That's up against a $180 Mezco figure, and it doesn't look out of place.
Yeah,
that's actually a good point. They actually are very highly detailed. Now, do you think that this is a line that you're going to continue to probably collect? Because in this picture, I think that it fits in perfectly with your Dio. You don't have to do too much to switch Dios up.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. It does look great, and those figures would look great. To be honest with you, I'm trying my best to be
save money
about. Yeah, to survive at all.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
To live.
Trying to live at this moment.
Yeah,
a day-by-day process.
I think as collectors, we'd all be fooling ourselves if we didn't believe that we get a bit caught up in the hype. And I know it's great and it's harmless, and I'd love to have every single figure from that line, but I have to look at, okay, well, what am I collecting? What am I trying to how am I going to utilize my space that I have in my room as best I can? And I will pick up the odd one, but I won't go all out and get every single one of them, although they are amazing. I don't see myself doing that. I even saw the Deceased line. I thought that looked incredible. I don't know if you saw that. The DC Collectibles Deceased. The
DC Direct. They're updated.
What did you say? They're what called? What are they called?
They're called. Well, they're trying to go back to DC Direct because that was their glory days.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Showing off one of Scott's picks because you were showing off my armor pick. Prestigious.
Yeah, they look good. I just like they're all bloodied up. I did read the book and I thought it was brilliant. I'm looking forward to reading Unkillables. I think it's the next one, but
okay.
Yeah, there's they're good, but I think for now I'm gonna try stick to streamline the 1/6 kind of figures, and I do want one kind of standout piece of a statue of Batman, so I've pre-ordered a Prime 1
a statue.
Oh, nice. What statue is that?
The Lee Barmahio, if that's how you pronounce his surname.
Yeah.
Batman Damned.
Oh, nice. That sounds outstanding.
Is that the one where he's like posing with his fist up, like the cover?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's enormous. Like, so I'm gonna put that front and center in the middle of the collection, kind of. And
nice.
Yeah.
And his artwork is just fantastic. It's like up there with Alex Ross.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I actually got the Luther book recently. I'm gonna read that. I'm looking forward to reading that.
We were actually just talking about, Scott brought up and was showing how they DC Direct failed to release that Luther from the Bermejo line. I was devastated to even learn that existed.
Yeah, and the Green Lantern as well. There's just bottled releasing them. I don't know why they do stuff like that. I never will understand.
Yeah, so many characters that are overlooked.
Now, how big is that statue? I think you're getting ready to say.
I think it's 32 or 33 inches tall, so it's a 1/3 scale. It's big.
That is big.
Sounds straight.
Yeah, and it weighs about 20 kilos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So you'll be lugging that around for outdoor shots, no doubt.
Oh God, it wouldn't.
Getting a
Lugging
pickup
that up
truck.
and down my stairs. I don't know about that.
When
Yeah,
it's
you need
snowing outside.
You need a stand stair lift and a pickup truck to be able to go out and take pictures of that
Yeah.
bad boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since we last spoke, we've had a lot of things revealed about the new Batman movie. Now, I know you were quite vocal on Instagram about it. What do you think of the new Batman movie, and also the sort of rumors we're hearing of the story, the characters, the way it's going to play out? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When it came to hearing about who they cast as Batman, I wasn't overly hyped about that. But then again, you know, that's something that I can get over. I mean, I wasn't overly anxious about Ben Affleck or overly happy about Ben Affleck being cast as Batman, but he turned out to be a very good Batman, especially in the first one. Batman versus Superman. But this looks like, I mean, obviously we don't have a trailer or anything, but from the concept design of the suit and the just the little snippet, the teaser trailer that we got, and the music and kind of how it seems quite a dark and gritty tone to it.
Yeah,
did get me excited when I saw that, I have to say, because it's Batman. I mean, I'm a big Batman fan, of course. I have to row in with the excitement a bit. But I just hope that they keep it realistic and grounded, and that they don't incorporate characters that have supernatural elements to it. And,
agreed.
and kind of keep it. I mean, Joker, the movie there recently, and that hadn't been out at the time when we spoke, but that just proves that there is an audience out there for comic style movies with gritty characters, and we can take those more serious tones and violence, and it can be successful, and it can be the most successful of all of the movies, and it was a real FU to Marvel and everything else.
It was.
It was an incredible feat. So I think this Batman can't take a step backwards. I mean, it can't dumb it down now that they're after bringing it to such a kind of a sophisticated height with Joker.
Yeah, something like dark, R-rated, gritty, serious, and realistic. I think that's and a lack of CGI as well, as little CGI as possible. I think stuff like that should be at the core of every single DC movie ever made, if you ask me. That's the whole reason that DC Comics is so good, because it's so serious and it's so realistic. Even a character like Superman, for me, is believable. That's why I like DC Comics. And I think it's a good point. And yeah, I mean, even the stuff like the Batsuit, I love the Batsuit because that's realistic. And I see people slating it, and there was loads of people slating it because of the eyes. They wanted the white eyes. That's not realistic. Go and watch JLU if you want to see white-eyed Batman.
Yeah.
It would also just be looking ridiculous if he had the white eyes, because it would be harder for the actor to emote and all that.
Yeah, it was hard for Ben Affleck, wasn't it, with the armored suit, to actually do any of that stuff because he couldn't see.
Yeah. But when it comes to these blockbusters, they do tend to get into CGI and big explosions and over the top scenes, and they feel that that's what people need and want. But again, Joker had a low budget. It didn't have any real CGI or any use of over the top props, effects, or scenes, and told an amazing story with great acting and made more money than all of those other movies that rely on all that. So it ticks all the boxes. So a Batman movie, in essence, doesn't require CGI and special effects. They're not going, Batman is not going around the universe visiting multiple planets.
Exactly.
He doesn't need random comets flying by in the background. All he needs is that gritty Gotham scene set, and that sort of the realistic tones, as you just said, Scott. I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, you're spot on. That's exactly how I feel about it.
What you're making me think of is like what the main thing is you need something that is a clear-cut story and something that's written well and something that's good. And you could do it grounded. It doesn't have to be like it's not a connected universe right away where you're trying to throw everything out there like they were trying to do. Zack Snyder was trying to plant 20 different Easter eggs for different people. If you could do a whole movie literally on one episode, like It's Never Too Late, where there's not a lot of action, it's a detective thing. There's tons of story, tons of character. There's things set up at the beginning that pay off at the end. You could do a whole movie like that, and people would applaud that as brilliant. It wouldn't cost a lot of money. You just need great actors, great cinematography and lighting, and a good story.
Yeah, and DC movies for me are more mature movies as well. You get a more mature audience watching DC movies, so you don't need all these sort of explosions and like you said, it's like a lot of CGI crap and stuff like that. You don't need.
Look at Harley Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like just something that's really character driven, really sort of heavy emotions in it and stuff like that. I think that's good. And you only have to look at stuff like Captain Marvel. That was just full of colours and all that CGI nonsense, and people didn't like it, didn't take to it. But like you said, something simple with Joker that's low budget and character driven. It did brilliantly.
That just
like a sewer king.
Points. That proves so many points. Like Joker, just I couldn't believe that they allowed it get that dark. When I watched it, I thought to myself, and I like dark movies. Generally speaking, I mean, they're the Darren Aronofsky kind of movies, and
Black Swan.
Yeah, and Jesus,
what's that other one with Jared Leto in it?
Yeah, like that. That's it. Actually reminded me of that.
Jesus. Yeah. Crap. What is it?
Tip of my tongue.
We're gonna feel so dumb once we hear the name.
I know.
It has a great soundtrack. The music's instantly recognizable.
Yeah.
It's about heroin.
Oh,
Jennifer Connelly's in it. Prime, looking great.
Yeah. Oh my
Crap.
God. Well, anyway, you know the movie we're talking about there. It's gonna wreck my head, but
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Could there be someone viewing or listening to this screaming?
You guys are idiots.
Jesus, I can't believe I can't remember it. I've seen it a lot of times, but
here we go.
There is
Requiem for a Dream.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. No. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. So I like that, but when I watched that and I said, "Geez, this is almost even darker than those movies," I couldn't believe, because obviously you've got kids going into school with their little lunch boxes with Batman and Joker on it, as a licensed character. It's unbelievable that DC allowed it go that deep and dark.
Thank goodness
they did. But I think
you didn't want little jokes and one-liners after every dark moment.
Yeah, this isn't an Iron Man movie. We don't want that. But
exactly. Yeah, like the Marvel is like it's great, it's fun, but it's like McDonald's, like it's a disposable kind of event. It's like the Joker is a sit-down meal. It's a proper
filet mignon.
You're not going to just leave it on the background and just casually watch it. You got to sit into that and really get
that's brilliant. I love that comparison. Yeah, Marvel movies are Happy Meals, and DC movies are like a full 3-course meal. Yeah. I like that comparison a lot. But
it's true.
Absolutely. And Joker was just mind blowing in so many ways. The whole plot and the look of Gotham was amazing. Like I put that movie up there with Batman '89 on how inspiring that was. That Joker movie, it was just insane.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, all around incredible. Just I'm sure you've spoken about it so many times on your podcast, but
it doesn't get old. Especially we've been looking forward to talking about it with you because we know how much you love it. So it's actually something that we've been looking forward to.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I thought what I really liked about it was that everything made sense in it. There wasn't anything that was kind of that required you to sort of jump to a conclusion in your own mind. I think it all added up very well. I thought, like, for example, when he's running away from the cops and he gets onto the train and all of the people are on it to go to the protest march and they all have clown masks on, but that had been reported on the news, you know, a couple of scenes earlier that was about to happen, and it all made sense. You know, even them wearing clown masks, having been called clowns by Thomas Wayne because they weren't as successful in life as some of the other people that, you know, that were looking down on them in his speech, the way that kind of made sense. So I thought there was a great continuity there, and I was floored by it. Just amazing film. Brilliant.
I love how they portrayed Thomas Wayne in that as well, because there's a lot of rich people out there that have that sort of attitude these days, unfortunately.
Just a dick.
Because you look at him in Batman Begins, and he's an amazing, inspirational, really nice guy, really nice character. Yeah, you know, he's sitting on the monorail, isn't he, going to Wayne Tower, and that you'd feel like this Thomas Wayne would never have that sort of attitude in him. He was really sort of, he was a pompous prick, basically, in that movie. Thomas Wayne was, and I think it's more realistic. I genuinely think it's more realistic that someone would be like that.
His first lines were, "What do you want, money?"
Yeah.
To start there.
And it's also good to see how different points of view can be sort of skewed. Like when he talks about the three guys that got killed, he's like, oh, you know, they're family. But those three guys were absolute assholes. They really are absolute bellends. And they were really...
They deserved it.
They, to be honest, and you know, when Joker shoots Murray in the face, like, there's a bit of you that goes, you know what, I completely understand why that's just happened. Because Murray was a complete arsehole as well, you know.
They were just out to make fun of him.
Yeah, literally. And there's a lot of people like that in society these days, and they don't even realise how much damage they're doing. So it was an incredibly deep movie, and you know, Todd Phillips has said it doesn't.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, sorry, I just think, like Todd Phillips said, this isn't glorifying a villain. I think it's understanding where a villain comes from more than anything else.
Yeah, and I thought they did a great job with kind of having you second guess aspects of the story, and also what was actually happening versus what he might have been imagining.
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever how you kind of came away with a few, you know, maybe possible theories about maybe a couple of scenes that he might have been imagining rather than actually happening, or whether or not he was the son of Thomas Wayne and that was his brother. You know, nothing was solidified. I mean, it kind of left you open a bit to think about it.
I thought that moment when he imagined himself on the Murray Franklin show at the start, I thought that was an unbelievable moment, because we all have these these deep imaginations of where we think we could be, or what we could do, or what we'd like, what we wish for. You know, and they did that so well, so
brilliant, well. Yeah, that was like in Requiem for a Dream as well, because Jared Leto's mother,
and King of Comedy.
Yeah, and she used to sit on her chair, kind of imagining going on some quiz show she'd watch.
Oh, those are creepy moments on that.
Yeah, she'd be popping her codeine tablets all day.
Yeah.
But very dark tones. So I hope Batman now goes along those lines, like, you know, keeps it gritty.
I was just thinking too, while you guys are talking, the big joke that he says, like why he killed those people on the show, is only funny to the audience because we're actually there. We know what he's talking about when he says they couldn't carry a tune, because he didn't explain to them they were singing anything. So it's only like an inside joke to the audience even. So that's even clever, I think.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. That's what's funny. You could just keep watching and see more and more stuff too. That's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now the big question, and even though it's a lot of people, it's very split, have to ask it. Would you want to see Robert Pattinson take on Joaquin's Joker, or would you want it to be its own separate thing and remain that way?
Yeah,
tough one.
In a way, it's a hard question to answer, because, you know, when you see something good, and it is so rare these days in terms of like what we just spoke about, the Joker movie. We've seen it. We know it was amazing, and it got Oscar recognition. when you have something so good, what you immediately want more, and sometimes more isn't good. Sometimes it can spoil.
In the case of Requiem for a Dream.
Well, that's standalone. Yeah, standalone.
No, I just mean in terms of the drugs they use on that. Sometimes more isn't
Oh,
good.
right. Yeah. Well, or us with toys. Um,
That's true too.
but it's like Terminator, okay, Terminator 1
Oh,
and 2, amazing, and then all of a sudden,
you're breaking my heart already.
yeah, the killing machine that can't be bargained with, that will not stop until you're killed, will basically become a nurturing father with remorse for killing someone, decades
And a pet
ago.
doggy.
Yeah, so Jesus. So when I was watching that, I couldn't believe it. I just, holy shit. But anyway, that aside, Joker's an amazing movie, obviously, and there's a part of me that would love to see more of it. But if it was a one-shot kind of a black label thing that they were going to start, and they were going to go, right, we're going to do movies on a one-shot black label kind of umbrella, and take it as that, I'd accept that. And then say Batman's a trilogy and that can have its own Joker. That's fine. I don't mind that. But having said that, it was such a compelling story to begin with, Joker, that and it did set up a follow-up, because obviously it tied in the Wayne murders and Bruce Wayne being involved. It does set it up nicely, like,
Yeah.
Don't know. I can't see it happening though with the Robert Pattinson. I don't see it happening in that universe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it. I don't know if they'll be brave enough to even try doing a new Joker that soon, even after Joaquin. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, as much as I'd want to see more, it could just turn into be something that you don't want to see in the end, and something you wish you didn't have.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should just leave that alone. There's already enough confusion in the DC multiverse at the moment without bringing in a solo movie. And also, in the Batman movie, I just want to see a traditional Joker. I want to see an Ace Chemicals stained Joker.
Red Hood?
Yeah, I want to see that style of Joker. As much as I enjoyed this one, cool. I just want a correct Batman trilogy. Like, no one messed around with a few different things. Tim Burton's wasn't quite correct in some elements. Just want to see a complete Batman universe where every character is maybe not 100%, but 90% comic accurate. So I would like to see a proper Joker, because we haven't seen a proper comic book Joker since Jack Nicholson. So I want to see a proper comic book Joker, because
he was like almost 70.
Yeah, because like Heath Ledger wasn't an Ace Chemicals stained Joker or anything like that. He just had makeup on. So did
Joaquin.
So did Joaquin, and we kind of got a little bit with Leto. He was a comic accurate Joker, but obviously, Warner Brothers screwed him over. So which is a big shame. But I'd just like to see an accurate Joker go in the Batman trilogy and some accurate characters.
Yeah, that's I can 100% see where you're coming from there, and it would it would be compelling. The only thing that I could possibly see is that maybe they wouldn't go with that, because there has been that done with Nicholson in a way, but I can see that's so long ago that so many of the newer audiences wouldn't really be familiar with that. So and if it was done right, it would be amazing. And in any event, it is what the Joker's character is. I mean, that's how he originated as per the comics. So I mean, you can't go too far away from that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, changing the Joker's origin is the same as changing Batman's origin. I think of it that highly, which is what I mean. It's kind of why a Joker movie was so good, because they did so well with a completely different origin. But I would like to see a more traditional Joker, like in the comic books. They could mix it up, and like Tower said, doing the Red Hood thing with Joker would be one way of doing it.
That'd be cool.
Like different but the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, that would be great. As long as it doesn't go down the supernatural route, you know, that's fine by me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
So
cool
no
if
Zatanna.
it'd be cool in this movie if, like, you know, Batman's searching for suspects and it's the Red Hood gang that are doing all the Gotham, all the shit that's happening in Gotham, and then it leads to the confrontation with Joker, and then we get a second movie with Joker. That would be quite cool if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, their stories can be, you know, even though there are so many stories out there, they can be intertwined and kind of molded together really well, and there's so much there. I mean, they do such a great job with their DC animated movies. So, I mean, they know how to get the storylines right. So
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's just about getting that onto the big screen and
bring Paul Dini in.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a wealth of talent there. There's so many great writers. Scott Snyder would be obviously one of the best. But they already have a plan, I believe, for this. I think it might even have the Court of Owls aspect to it, perhaps. That's what I heard, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't really want to know.
How close to you are to Glasgow?
Me? Well, I mean, you know, you're from the States, so I would say far. You would say, oh, it's only an hour's flight. It is only an hour's flight from where I live. It's not far at all. But
too far to drive, though.
Well, I'd need a boat. There's water between us.
When they finally resume filming, they're doing filming in Liverpool. I was genuinely devastated when I saw it, because they had an application up for a movie filmed in Liverpool, and it was a big blockbuster movie. That it was obviously the Batman movie. They were advertising for extras to go in it, and I missed out on it. I was gutted because I would have applied for that. But I'm definitely going to go to Liverpool when they resume filming there, see if you can see anything.
Yeah, well, hopefully this virus doesn't impact it too much.
Yes, yeah, it was supposed to be filming last week, wasn't it? They were supposed to start resuming filming there, but obviously that's been called off altogether, which is a shame. But
I really wish people would stop putting pictures up of the set. I know it's unavoidable, but
yeah, I'm with that.
I'd love to go into it, just not knowing much about it, and not seeing a whole lot to do with it. But it's almost impossible these days.
It is, yeah. Especially in this hobby, it's all you have to do is look on the search bar, and you get like 100 pictures of Pattinson up with different bat suits.
Yeah, just popping up on your Explorer page.
Yeah, there's loads, but
that's why sometimes I can know the whole plot to a Marvel movie without ever seeing the movie, just based on what people post.
I know. Yeah. Well, Marvel fans are different, you know.
Yeah, that's the nicest way you could say it ever. That's funny.
So we've talked about
I'd say half of your viewership have just disappeared now with that comment. Yeah, you guys have been putting out great content lately. I love the outdoor shots. I love those Batman Begins pics. I think both of you did outdoors. One of you did. I think it was. I think Scott, you did I think you were outdoors with Nightmare Batman, weren't you? And
oh yeah. Took before the quarantine. I should point out for anyone who's get angry with me.
I think Tyler, you did one with the Batman Begins figures on snow. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was fantastic picture.
Yeah. I still have a few left in the ammunition from the snow days. Took a ton of.
That's a great picture, because it's from that scene. Excellent, yeah.
It's a terrific scene, that is. There we go. That's the picture. Yeah, it's fantastic
and
scene.
That 2-pack you have, Scott, of the Demon Bat and Scarecrow. Who makes that?
Oh, that is this one. Mafex, that is. Yeah.
Mafex,
so you
get took that picture.
It is, to be fair, yeah. I got the demon head, and the demon cape comes with the Scarecrow figure, so you can swap it on the Mafex Batman. But yeah, they're pretty cool figures, and these are fantastic. I love the Soap Studio stuff.
That head is freaky looking.
It is weird, isn't it? I might have to do a big close up on
it. You got to, especially around Halloween.
Hey, that's not a bad idea for Halloween, yeah. But yeah, fantastic stuff. Love all the Batman Begins figures. There's so many great Batman Begins stuff out there. Even the Movie Masters stuff was amazing that Mattel made.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for your Alfred pick that you
Do
showed.
you know, I'm saving it for the weekend.
For the weekend?
Yeah, we're doing a Dark Knight theme with Lewis about the Bat Collector. We're going to be doing loads of pictures of those. Yeah, there'll be a couple of Alfred ones in there, I promise.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, terrific
Michael
pictures.
Caine.
Yes, I know we're all big Batman Begins fans in this.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, so that's some of the new figures that we've got. I wanted to talk about a few new Hot Toy figures before we wrap up, and I had to talk about the new Batgirl Arkham Knight figure. She is insane.
Yeah, a fantastic fantastic figure, and that's one obviously that had been teased before, and Hot Toys having the license to the Arkham games was always exciting news.
Yeah.
And when they started putting out obviously Arkham Knight and the Deathstroke, the Joker, the Arkham Knight himself, the bad guy,
amazing figure.
Yeah. All of those were fantastic, but it all seemed to kind of run dry then for a while, and they seemed to be focusing a lot on Marvel. And then they had Futura Batman, which was kind of hinting on the Batman Beyond suit, but it wasn't quite it. But then only there a couple of weeks ago, they did put up for pre-order the actual Batman Beyond suit from
Looks
the game,
amazing, that does.
which I just jumped on that.
Oh, it looks insane, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I can't believe they're making.
Yeah, I know it's great. There are so many different characters as well there that they could really do, the Catwoman figures, but like
Scarecrow.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze. I mean, there'd be so many of them that'd be incredible.
Oh, Mr. Freeze would look insane.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
It looks spectacular. That
Scott's
Batgirl
checkbook is running.
Yeah, it's like I'm tempted to get the Deathstroke, tempted by Joker, but I'm 100% going to get that Batgirl because she's my favourite Batgirl that's ever been portrayed in DC Comics. So, and that DLC and Matter of Family is just so good. So, definitely going to get her. She looks so cool. And the Harley Quinn as well. We've seen more pictures of that today. She looks brilliant.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a great figure too. I would have liked an expression on her face because she is quite a character that would have more expression, but it's still an amazing figure, and the tailoring on it looks fantastic. There was another figure they released, a Prestige edition of Arkham Knight, which I wouldn't be interested in. It's just a repaint, basically, of the figure.
It literally is, isn't it? It's nothing different.
No,
it looks cool.
Not even new accessories?
No, it's just the same, isn't it? I think completely. It's a darker suit, isn't it, than just the gold emblem, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look at it too closely. I suppose knew it was just a gold or gold version or whatever. I was just like, no, I'm not going to go for that. This is the thing. I've been a sucker for a couple of years of just instantly just saying yes because it had it was DC or whatever, but I'm not doing that anymore. There were a couple of figures there that I know I would have jumped on about 2 years ago that I just said no, I just passed on them. So this is what you have to do.
Self-control.
Yeah. You see, Hot Toys really are like the heroine of toy collecting. Like it's
Scott's doing the hard stuff now.
It's gonna get that way, isn't it? Unfortunately. But I wanted to ask as well, because it's been quite a divisive movie and figure. The Hot Toys Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey. Are you gonna get her?
No.
That was the quickest answer ever. No.
It's weird for a Hot Toys figure. Like, you can see the joints and stuff like that, and I don't know.
Well, there are two of them that they've announced. So there's one, she's on roller skates, and there's the other one with the jacket that's kind of all frilled. Now, I have to confess, I haven't seen the movie. Maybe if I saw the movie, I'd want them. But I have two Harley Quinns, and one of them is the classic look of Suicide Squad with the the white, blue, and red kind of T-shirt, and boots and the class. Well, I'll call it classic look, but it was classic for Margot Robbie, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I have those, and I don't think I need, those particular figures, and their sculpt isn't as good in my opinion as the open mouth sculpt that's on one of my figures.
Yeah.
And again, maybe if I see the film, you see, this is the thing, like I watch something and then I get this urge to buy something from it, so I might watch.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I do. It happens to me all the time. Jesus, I'm watching. I don't know if either of you have ever heard of a cartoon called Gargoyles.
Yeah, of course, I remember it back in the 90s.
Yeah. So I was born in 81, so this came out in 1994. And if you ever wanted, like, you're huge Batman animated series fans, if you wanted a cartoon that's kind of along those lines, I'd strongly recommend Gargoyles.
That's a good voice cast.
It's incredible, and it's on the Disney Plus or whatever that's called, that Disney Channel. So I'm kind of binge watching them at the moment. I'm kind of thinking,
those toys are probably way expensive now, huh?
Oh yeah, they're vintage Kenner
aftermarket.
Yeah, they're bananas. But don't be surprised if you see one or two pictures on my feed.
That'll be awesome. Now that will be nostalgic.
It's gonna happen.
Good. Yeah. That's a good hint. I was gonna ask before we wrapped up what we could possibly get any hints of anything you got cooking up. So that's actually a good one. Gargoyles.
Cooking up. Well, I've got a fair few pre-ordered. I've got a couple of cool figures recently that I haven't taken a lot of pictures of. One being the Justice League Batman with the Ben Affleck sculpt. Yeah, he's cool. I haven't taken many of the Flash either, and I've got.
You have the Flash too. Okay.
I've got the what you call it, the couple of other ones on pre-order. That let me see.
Hopefully they come soon.
Sure. Look, we'll be waiting months. Really waiting months.
That quarantine.
Yeah. What else have I got pre-ordered from DC? Well, I'm looking forward to that. Not the future of Batman, the Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you're probably hearing I'm a little bit distracted. My son is having a conniption downstairs. He's woken up and now looking for me.
Well, it's the signal that we have to wrap up.
Well, for me, you guys work away. Unfortunately, I have to break away. Unfortunately, here. But
got any final words?
I really appreciate the invite back on, and thanks so much for having me.
No problem, man. Really appreciate your time coming on, because I know you're a busy guy, even despite the quarantine. So yeah, massively appreciate your time. And yes, just try and slow down on the uploads, because I can't afford to keep up with these figures. It's really difficult.
I'd love to come on again in a couple of weeks and we'll have a proper chat. I'm sorry this guy is now.
This has been a great chat.
I have a piece of paper in front of me with questions I want to ask you guys, and I haven't even gotten around to that. So,
this is to highlight you.
What's that?
This is we have you on to highlight you. We don't want to talk about ourselves.
We bore people with that an hour a week anyway. So
yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I get it. It's a pleasure. And thanks so much.
No problem. If you get it, everyone that's listening, thank you for joining us. Again, if you aren't following him, he's at Toys of Arkham. Beautiful photography, great figures, and it's not just one thing. Great variety. And again, we want to thank him, especially because he's quarantined with the kids at home, for taking time out of his day to join us. And yeah, please check him out,
guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Yes.